Hey guys, All Sports 83 sporting another video at you, and today we're highlighting race number 25 of the 2021 GoFast e-racing series. And today we're at Michigan International Raceway, where I was able to win my fourth pole of the season. Another short field for this race, just 4 cars were able to make it out for this event. And let's get it going as we take a look at the highlights and all of the interesting things that took place during the course of this race. I was able to get a good little start here as we get started, and it was a lot of fun racing in this race, but I was able to get out and get a little bit of a lead. I think I was able to work up to as much as a second lead before the car started to get a little tight, and as you can see here, I started getting ran down by some of these guys. Here's the 24 car of Big Rich. He's able to move underneath me and take the lead just about 10 or 12 laps into the race. So a good tight battle for the lead early in stage number 1, but it wasn't that long before moving into turn number 3. As we go down the backstretch here, as you can see, the 24 car gets in a little too hot, makes the car a little tight. He goes up the racetrack, and I was able to slip back underneath him and retake the lead for that moment in the race. While the battle continued to rage on, as you see, the 24 car gets in really hot into turn 1, goes up the track, and then as a result, he actually gets in front of the 42 car of SC399, and it really kind of held both of them up as far as time. There was no cautions, but it actually cost them some time. And then a little bit later on, you see a crash, by a one-car crash by the 42 of SC399, and it would cost him over 9 seconds from my position as the leader. Then we get to go through some green flag pit stops here, and after everybody had gone through the green flag pit stops, I come back out on the backstretch, and as you take a quick look at the track map here, you can see the distance between me and new second place runner Hollywood Dawn won. A little bit later on, we're able to keep racing, but the 3 car of Hollywood Dawn kind of catches me over a period of about 10 laps or so. My car was still very, very tight, and he was able to move past me and take the lead as we get toward the closing sections of stage number 1. But a few laps later, I was able to get underneath him, and we had a little close call here as he got loose coming off the corner. It wasn't enough for a caution or a wreck, but we certainly both had to gather ourselves up, and I was able to slip by him as I was able to get through the gears maybe a little better, or he was still dealing with that loose race car, and that allowed me to get out about a 2, almost a 3-second lead, and was able to hold on to get the stage win at stage number 1. Here's the finishing order. Hollywood Dawn gets second with Big Rich third and SC399 in 4th place. As we move on now to the beginning of stage 2, actually Hollywood Dawn did not pit and actually ran out of gas as we came to the start-finish line. Again, in this league, we do not have a caution for 1-car incidents. The other 2 were able to keep carrying on, so as you can see, it really hurt Hollywood Dawn's positioning for stage number 2. And he would spend the rest of the stage in an effort to try and get going. Meanwhile, you see a big battle here at the top spot from the 42 car. SC makes his way around me for the lead again as we head down the backstretch here. So the battle for the lead was always in question between 2 and sometimes even 3 cars. As you see there, the 3 car still having issues. He would end up finishing during this stage as a DNF and would not be able to continue on to stage number 3. As we move on just a little bit more, I have a really tight car here and just could not complete that run that I had to try to work underneath the 42 car, and we would continue to battle lap after lap here, and we would swap the lead a few times. And one of the things that would do is it would let the 24 car of Big Rich kind of get back into the picture as we go through another set of green flag pit stops. And as we come back out on the track, as you can see, because of all of the racing that we had done together, now you can see as I come off onto the backstretch, it's actually Big Rich who is now in second position, and not too far behind him is SC 399. So it looks like we have ourselves a 3-car battle to see who's going to get the green-white checkered for stage number 2. And then just a couple of laps later, I actually get into the wall. The car was so tight, and there goes Big Rich in the 24 car, and the 42 of SC399 would take the first and second positions. And then a few laps later, I was able to kind of run those guys back down while they continued to battle for the lead. And then here's just a really interesting lap and a half or so of great racing, and I'll let you just kind of listen in and take a look and just kind of enjoy the way these 3 cars were going at each other.
High lane clear. Still there. Careful, still there. Good to go.
So as you can see, as a combination of the draft and guys having different braking or acceleration points in the corners, it was a lot of aggressive racing with 3 different cars, and get a really good run on the outside here, and I was able to hold it and just kind of stay in the throttle, and it led me kind of have a run on the outside of the 42 car here. And so we go in side by side, got down into turns 3 and 4, and I kind of let off early, and then just so I could really try to get back into the throttle and get a run on the outside. And I was able to let that work for me as I'm able to clear the 42 car as we come to the start-finish line with about 9 laps to go in the stage. And fortunately for me, I would never relinquish the lead, holding off the 42 car and the 24 car to get the win for stage number 2. There's the top 4 finishers, SC with second and Big Rich in third, and Hollywood had a DNF at that point. So on to the final restart here as the 42 car won the race off pit road, but couldn't quite get through the gears the way he wanted. It did allow me to retake the lead on the outside, but that didn't mean that the lead was not in question, as go ahead and let you take another look and listen to another 3-car battle for the lead.
Got one down low now. Hold your line. Stay high. Careful, still there. Careful, still there. All clear. Outside, outside. Hard from the outside, outside. All right, clear outside. Got a car low now. Don't move, stay high. All clear.
So as you can see, Big Rich was the big winner in that 3-car battle, but after just a few short laps later, I was able to get back to his outside here in turns 1 and 2, and was able to get the run and retake the lead as we were coming up on some green flag pit stops. And as we continued to battle, though, coming up on those green flag pit stops, there was a caution that took place between the second and third place drivers, which would lead to our first caution of the night. So on the restart here, and this is at this point in the race, I'd really started making a lot of adjustments to the race car as I'm able to get away here on the restart. Another thing that I'd been discovering through the last couple of green flag runs was that I needed to adjust my technique as I went through turns 1 and 2. I really struggled through that end of the racetrack, and it was through some of those green flag runs that I was able to kind of perfect that technique and was able to make some adjustments to complement that technique. And then it was at that point of the race I really was able to start pulling away, and the car really started to feel as good as it did all night long. As you can see there, as we come toward the end of the race, the gap that I was able to create on the field. And here we are coming off turn 4 for the final lap, and I was able to motor on to my 4th victory of the season. As we take a look at the final results of the race, I was able to get those max points with both stage wins and the victory. But Big Rich also with a 2nd place finish, SC 399 in 3rd, and then Hollywood with that DNF, but he does get credited with a 4th place finish. And as you'll see here, as we switch over now to the point standings, you see here I have a 74-point lead over Mike G2338, and that will be enough points to lock myself as the regular season champion for 2021. Also, if you look down the order just a little bit there, Big Rich and SC399 with the top 3 finish for each of those guys was able to propel them up a few spots in the point standings. All of those point standings will get reset in a couple of weeks for the playoffs for that best of the rest trophy that those guys will be racing for, and those 2 guys are qualified for that in a couple of weeks starting at Darlington. But next week we're headed off to Daytona, so should be a pretty good turnout for that race as we gear up for those playoffs in the following week, and they'll start applying all of those bonus points and things for the playoffs in a couple of weeks. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more highlights for the 2021 GoFast E-Racing League Series. Have a good one.